this is Mackenzie Childs, and today I'm finally getting around to doing that promise table setting video. If you saw my latest video, the one where I share my Mackenzie Childs collection with you, then you might be tipped off to this video. I spoke about doing a video where I set my table. I've been watching a lot of table setting videos, and I really like seeing people set their table. It's fun for me to see that as as I was pondering what my table setting would be. So I wanted to have a video like that. So if you are looking for ideas or inspiration on a table setting, maybe you just recently got into a new home, or you're just thinking to refresh your own home, hopefully this would give you a little bit of that energy or that spark for you that will lead to your own creativity igniting. Yes. Oh, before we start, two things I wanted to mention. In my last video, I was talking about two, technically four items where it was a little confusing on the price. Before you is one of the items. When I talked about this in this set in my video, I talked about the teapot and the teacup being $149.99. And so then from there, I talked about how I added the saucer, and the saucer was for full price. I then started to go into how I looked at reasoning the purchase because the teapot and the teacup off of sale was $229. And so on sale was $149, and then I added the saucer, so altogether with tax it wound up being $209, and that was $20 off of the set full price. And so I said, okay, well, I still kind of got a little bit of a deal because and some people might argue that, well, you didn't have to get the saucer. I'll argue, oh yes you do. Tea is a messy drink, and so having the saucer really helps to collect some of any spillage, which eventually does happen. So that was another thing. And another thing were my Mackenzie Childs napkins. I told the story about how I got Belk Bucks from Belk, and I got these napkins, but what was incorrect was how much Belk Bucks I got. These were on sale for $11. I got $10 in Belk Bucks. And so when I got two of them, that knocked off $10, and so they were $12, making them each $6. So I wanted to clarify that. The error comes from, I like to do a straight shot of when I make my videos. It's just easier for me. I really don't like to edit. And you're using a lot of fluid intelligence, talking on the whim and trying to narrate and stuff like that. And so in the process of that, you get a little discombobulated. So with that, let's get started. I'm so excited. In my last video, I said that I tried to shoot this once before. That's true. I'm gonna go ahead and write the table. And so luckily that experience has taught me a little few things, like with the angle and things to be noticed about. So I'm hoping that this time as I shoot the video, there's no mistakes that make me want to reshoot. So I'm really hoping that this is the final take, and I'm hoping to enjoy it. The first time I did it, I was very nervous, and you can kind of tell that nervousness, coming through into the video, and that nervousness of like, oh my gosh, I feel like when I do this, it's kind of blind because I'm not sure how it looks on the video. So I hope it's not a weird angle, but now I feel a lot more relaxed as I do this. Okay, so the first thing I would like to do, and I learned, is I really like to talk about each piece as I set the table and maybe review it, right? So in doing that, I'm going to start off with Well, I wanted to start off with my placemats, but now I'm seeing my napkins and I'm like, should I do the placemats or the napkins? I'll go ahead and do the placemats first. So these are my Parchment check placemats. And okay, yeah, I'm remembering how I wanted to start this video as I put the placemats down. But that's okay. Fluid intelligence, right? I got to run with it. And so we'll go ahead and continue talking about the placemats. When I first got these placemats, I was a little nervous because if you're a Mackenzie Childs collector, you know a parchment check. Parchment check does not look the same. And not in the way that courtly check or royal check does. A parchment check actually looks like two different things. This type of parchment check where they took the art and they printed it on, it comes through a little bit more brown, almost mocha check, but a nice paler mocha check. But then there's some parchment checks items like with the enamelware, it's very citrine and yellowish with a hint of green, not really this blue. And so when I purchased this parchment check, it was final sale because it was on sale. I was hoping that it would match my cushions, and it was a shot in the dark. And so when I got the item that day, it was like, such relief when it came to be that this was the version of parchment check, you know, when it looks a little bit more tannish, more beige, a little bit more cream, and not the citrine yellow parchment check. So I was really happy that the color came through correct because it does match, at least to me. You feel free to disagree, but it really does match my table setting chairs, especially with that blue. And the next thing, a little bit of review about this placemat. It is cork, and that does bother me. I want you to know that I am bothered by it because you can't leave water on here too much because it's kind of like a papery feel. And in one of them, I can't remember which one now because I've mixed them up, but one of them, unfortunately, a little drop of water did last on it too long. And of course, you know, the finish, I'm looking for it as I'm talking about it. The finish came off, and I sincerely hope that I don't have to replace these for a long time yet because they really do match my table setting. But if I do, I'll continue to get another Mackenzie Childs. They don't make parchment check anymore, so it'll probably have to be courtly check, but it'll probably be a fabric one and not the cork. This is my first time trying cork, so I didn't know how it would turn out. So far, it's good, right? But again, you know, don't keep no water on that. So you have to just be mindful of that. Okay, with that, now I'm gonna go ahead and do the napkins. I was thinking about telling you the story. Oh, well, you know what? Why don't I tell you the story about how I got introduced to Mackenzie Child while I do the napkins. I like to do my napkins in the bow tie. I really don't know the name for it, so I was thinking about the name, but really, it's just like in the bow tie. Yes. So as I do that, tell you the story how I came to know Mackenzie Childs. I'm gonna set that right there. Actually, you know, as I do that, let me get my enamel napkin rings. In the last video that I tried to shoot this, I'm looking to see if the placemats look a little funky, a little weird, because that was another thing that looked weird at the last video. I was like, oh, fix the placemats. In the last video, I hadn't really revealed all my collection of my Mackenzie Childs, so everything was kind of like a reveal. But now that I've already revealed, you know, if you guys have seen that last video, you've already seen my items, so it's no longer a review. And so now I don't have to feel like, oh, it's a big reveal. I can just do things in an order that, you know, as it comes natural to me. So this is how I do my napkins. I love them like this. And this is cool because in my last video, when I displayed these items, I didn't tell you how I displayed them, but this is how I put my napkins. So as I do that, I'll go ahead and tell you the story. If you can see my grandfather clock right here, I want you to know that I am aware that it does not match the color of my table and set, and that's, believe me, no fault of my own. And so this is how I became to get to know Mackenzie Childs. A coworker gave me that grandfather clock as me and Daniel were moving into our home. You know, we gathered and everything. We built our home. We were fortunate to buy it where it was just the foundation, and so there was a lot of preparation. And so in that time of preparation, you got to think about, oh, you know, what do I want to furnish the home with? And so I remember as a child, I've always wanted a grandfather clock because when I went to my aunt's house, my aunt Tina and Uncle Michael, they had a grandfather clock, and I would just be so entertained at the chiming of that clock. And I just had an affinity for it. So I really wanted the grandfather clock. Well, my coworker, I told her about this. She had a fire in her home, and she had this grandfather clock. It had survived the fire. They were able to get the smoke out of it, but the mechanisms inside, they couldn't get the smoke out. So the only way that they could save it was by just keeping the case. And she said that she had it for a while. It's 40 years old, so I don't remember exactly the story. And so because of that, she didn't want to just throw it away, even though the mechanisms are not in it. And so to this day, we have not restored it, but we always say we're going to restore it. I guess that's just one of those projects as a homeowner. I'm going to get to it one day. So she wound up giving it to me, and so I was happy to take it, even though it wasn't in, because I was like, oh, my own grandfather clock, and it was my intention to paint it. Now, Daniel was violently against it because he believed that would destroy the value, the heritage of it, and he had persuaded me, and so it has not been painted. But at the time, I didn't know if you could even paint a grandfather clock, and if so, how would it appear to be? And so this is how Mackenzie Childs comes into the view of the story. I went to YouTube, as I guess we all do, to watch a video and see if people paint their grandfather clocks. And sure enough, there were some videos of people painting their grandfather clock, but there was one in particular that caught my eye. It was an obtuse thing. It was purple, and it had green, cream, white, yellow, checkered prints on the interior of it. And it was obtuse, but not so in a way that was unpleasing. And I was like, oh, this is kind of, it's kind of nice. So I went to see the video. And so I wanted to see, what inspired her to paint like this. And she talked about it. She said, Mackenzie Childs. And I said, oh, there's a brand like this? She said it's very Alice in Wonderlandian. And so out of curiosity, I went to that website, and the rest is history. So that's how I came to love Mackenzie Childs. Someone told me about it. I just found about it because I wanted to paint this grandfather clock, and eventually I'm going to paint that grandfather clock black, and I'm going to do courtly check around it. And so isn't that funny? I feel like that would be like a full circle moment, me painting that grandfather clock. In a Mackenzie Childs type of style. I do have other DIY projects that were very successful that I painted. So maybe one day I'll make a videos about that. Okay, from here, what is next? I'm gonna put these bad boys to the side, and I guess I'll go ahead and put, maybe I'll do the vase next. Let's do the vase next, right? We'll do the vase next. And since you guys, the camera is facing this, I'll display this in the way that's facing the camera. That was another thing I noticed. It's like, hey, display it facing the camera, even though it's not how I would naturally orient it at my home. But since the camera is viewing this on, presented as if you were seeing it the way I would want it to be presented. Okay, with that, I put my 2 raw iron Daniel and I got this from his father-in-law when we moved into the house. He had sold his lake home. He was moving down to Florida, and Daniel gave us. He gave these to us. I was so happy because my 5 principles to every design is glass, wrought iron, birds, butterflies, and flowers. And so this was wrought iron, so I was tickled to get it. Now, in using them, what we would do is we would normally put napkins that you're fine. Maybe you you went out to eat and you have leftover napkins. You don't want to throw them away. You shouldn't. They're not. That's wasteful. So you probably tough stash them away, and they wound. They accumulate. So we will put them here. But what will happen is I would start to not like that because the napkins would get all folded and sloppy. And so then I was like, well, what I'm going to do with these napkin holders, because they're really nice, I don't want to get rid of them. And so it dawned on me, you know what, the Lord, yes. And that's another thing. I really would like to thank the Lord for allowing me to be able to afford me the chance to be able to get all these things from Mackenzie Childs. Mackenzie Childs is not, she knows her worth, shall we say, and she definitely shows that. So it is, not an easy undertaking to collect so much. So I would like to thank God for his providing me the opportunity and the funds, to get these things. And the funds by my job and my education and by changing my life for the better. So I'm able to get these things. So thank you, Lord. Yay! Okay, back to the wrought iron things. Yes, I didn't want to get rid of the wrought iron napkin holders. But when I got these napkins, I was like, oh, perfect. That goes perfect with them. And I only got one at the time because at that time I was going to use it, just when I drink my tea. But then when I got the other $5 Belk reward, I was like, oh, wait, I can get a second one. So then when I got the second one, I was intending to get 2 more, for a set of 4. And I was like, well, maybe I can use these for the holidays. But I was sitting down at the table with both of them, and I was like, wait, they can just go in the napkin holders. And so now this is decorative, and so I feel like the napkins help to salvage or save these pieces. And so I'm like, yay, so I really like that. Okay, let's go to the next step, shall we? The courtly check chargers. Yay! I really like these courtly check chargers. When I bought Parchment check, I did not know at that time what my set would look like. What my set I'm referring to my table setting. So when I saw Butterfly Garden had Parchment check in it, I was like, perfect. But it also had courtly check in the promotion videos, and that was very pleasing. I was like, oh my gosh, great. I was able to salvage the Parchment checks, right? I was able to blend the two things together to make a cohesive set because, sometimes it doesn't work like that. And so then, you're like, okay, well, we're gonna have to either get rid of one or do something, right? Designed, and that's how house design is, in my opinion. You buy something, you might like it right there. Oh, maybe it goes over here, or you might give it away and replace it. But I'm just really happy that I was able to keep everything and just build upon it and not have to go through that, that intermittent phase of not knowing what you like. So I was really happy that they blend nicely with the Parchment check. Next is my Butterfly Garden plates. When I got these plates, there was a little bit, when I saw these plates, there was a little bit of a debate. And I can't believe I actually debated it. I love butterflies. And, sometimes you feel the need, oh, well, should I change it up? I don't know. I've been doing this all the time. I don't want to be a one-trick pony. That's what they call you when you show consistency. Sometimes they call you a one-trick pony. But so I didn't want to be a one-trick pony, and I said, well, let me see if if I can have another set that's nice. But then I decided, you know what, I should only be pleasing one person, the Lord. Yes, the Lord, but me as well. And I really like these butterfly gardens. So I said, you know what, this is something that I always love, butterflies. And so if I want this set to really have longevity, I need to pick a theme that I know I'm always going to love. I'm always going to love butterflies. And so I'm so glad that I did, because, oh, it's so cute. Coming together. Okay, let's see. Shall we? Let's do the cups next. Okay, we do the cups next. The last video, I talked about how the cups were a little small, and they were the only item that I purchased. I didn't complete that thought in my last thought. These were the only items that I purchased in my Mackenzie Childs Frenzy that I kind of regretted. And even now, I kind of like, no, I don't regret it. But they're a little small. They're a lot smaller than what I thought 10 ounces to be. And they hold more than the teacup that you saw earlier, as far as fluid ounce, because they're 10 ounce and the teacup is 8.5, I believe. But they just seem, so they're actually substantial, but it just seems, maybe it's the width, right? You're just used to like a dinner cup, I don't know, being a little bit more volume, but it's just an optical illusion, and I can't return them. Right, the final sale, we're gonna have to make work, hun. And they're cute, they're still cute. So I think it's just something, a little, I'm gonna have to get over myself. They're perfectly fine. All right, and so what I normally would do is I would put the bows, that's a little, in the center like this. Or at least I would do that. That used to be the configuration, but you guys, in my last video, I said that I had purchased some, you know what, this bow is so much prettier. Let's put the pretty bow in the front, okay? Oh my gosh, not that it's a good reference, but if you guys have ever seen The Handmaid, there was a season where they had the handmaids be presented at the presidential dinner. And so the wife of the big guy, she was like, we're only going to have some of these girls come out. And so the metaphor that she said to get the woman who was, over the handmaids to go along with it, and she was like, you don't put the bruised apples in the front of the bushel or something like that. So, yes, let's not put the bruised apples in the front. So funny. Okay. Okay, so here are the ice cream bowl dishes that I was referring to earlier. I really have to get work on completing thoughts while I'm still engaging, but maybe that's just something I'm gonna have to get over, because doing everything in one take is extremely hard. So you gotta accept it for what it is. But okay, about these bowls, if you can even see it. So this is how I like to set it. I like to set them right there. And I'm so happy I got these bowls. The reason why I got these bowls is because I really had to come to terms with myself, because when I thought of a set, I thought of, your typical set. You get your charger, you get your dinner plate, you have your salad / dessert plate, and then you might top it off with a bowl. And so that's the, the mode that I really was thinking about going, or the mode I was thinking about using. And so I was thinking about using that template. template. A template is the better word. I was thinking about using that template when thinking about creating my set. But and when I came to terms with myself is I really don't like to eat salad in plates. I find that the dressing often, because I like vinaigrette and I like oil, just olive oil or oil, and on a plate it really slides all over the place and it's quite sloppy. I really like to eat my salads within a bowl, and so I said, you know what? If I'm really these bowls had came on sale, and I was like, well, they were like 116, so I think altogether like $26 a piece, but altogether 116 or something like that. And I thought about it and I was like, well, not only am I reducing the amount of pieces in my set, thereby saving money, because remember, I'm thinking about getting the salad plate in the bowls times 4, where I can just get a bowl and reduce the whole plate. So I went ahead and did it. And I'm so glad that I did that, because this bowl, it is an ice cream bowl. However, remember when we talked about the cups and the ounceage? So this actually is 10 ounces. Oh, no, it's not ounces. It's like 2 cups or something like that, right? Let me not start to lie and sound incoherent again. I don't remember, but I think it's like 2 cups, right? The correct amount of volume it can hold, but the short run of it is that it actually holds more than the breakfast bowl that Mackenzie Childs offers, and that's what I was thinking. So I was like, oh, if I can actually fit more food in here, and it's cheaper, it's not cheaper, I really don't want to say cheap, but the more pragmatic and the more pragmatic. That's the way I like to think it. It's more pragmatic for me, because appetizers, I can serve appetizers, but nowadays, you mostly serve family style and people put everything on their own plate. So even if you did offer appetizers when you're hosting, they're just going to put it on their dinner plate anyways. So, I can just get the bowl. A very long-winded explanation on why I'm so happy about getting the ice cream bowl and as a substitute, not a substitute, as the alternative, yes, the alternative to the traditional style of a charger dinner plate, salad plate / dessert plate, and a bowl. Yay! So this is my table setting. What do you guys think? Tell me, do you think you would like a set like this where it's all Mackenzie Childs? I really wanted something that was all Mackenzie Childs because I like everything to match. I said in the last time my video, I really don't like porcelain. I don't like porcelain. And then with tea, I really do love tea, but most serveware is a type of ceramic or porcelain, right? There we go, ceramics. I don't like to use ceramics because that's better, because porcelain is just a subcategory of a ceramic. When you go to tea rooms, sometimes their tea stuff, it doesn't match. It's like a smorgasbord of things, so I really didn't want to go that route. When I had my set, I wanted everything to be cohesive and to be from the same brand. And so I decided to do Mackenzie Child, that Mackenzie Child was that brand. And because I just liked it. I found it, as you might recall from the story of the, what is that? Grandfather clock. Actually, did you know that's not their real name? That's like a nickname. What is it called? A floor clock or something like that? But grandfather clock is actually not their official or the government name. It's the nickname. But I am rambling, dolls. Yes, I'll go ahead and close out. And thank you so much for watching this with me. I hope this was entertaining for you. I hope this gave you great ideas about what to do when you have, not what to do, or gave you ideas about what you might do for your table setting. And feel free to send down a comment down below about ideas or collections that you like about Mackenzie Childs. I think it would be fun to hear from you. Till next time, dolls. Take care.